Of late, you and I have been dreaming about motorcycles that look exactly like this. Tall, with a purposeful stance that's ready to take on the worst. A lot of us are out riding every weekend now, and adventure touring is no longer just a fantasy, it's a need. The Kawasaki Versys-X 300 has been designed to suit this very need. Does it though? Kawasaki has made an admirable attempt at making the X300 a substantial looking motorcycle. It does appear to be quite tall, and this impression is amplified by its high-perched fixed windscreen and a rakish tail section as well. It also has 180mm of ground clearance and is built exceptionally well. The accessories too have been neatly integrated. The Versys-X 300 looks great and definitely has a style to match its intended purpose. It's a modern, purposeful, yet fairly uncomplicated design, and the lightweight aluminium rims with wire spokes definitely look the part. The 815mm seat height puts you in a commanding position, although it isn't uncomfortably tall for most riders. Now what you must know is that all the really cool bits on this motorcycle, like the hand guards, the crash guard, the fog lights and the single pannier, are all accessories but are offered as standard on the bike for India. All things considered, the Versys definitely has the looks to stand out in a crowd and make you look like a serious globe-trotting motorcyclist. A go-anywhere ability and 100 kph cruising speed opens up a happy opportunity of adventure and exploration, so most of us highway chasers are a complacent lot. And the Versys-X 300 doesn't challenge this complacence. Its 296cc 8-valve DOHC parallel twin motor is liquid-cooled and produces 39.8 HP and 25.7 Nm of torque. Healthy figures, but not startling in any way. This motor is paired to a 6-speed gearbox and an assistant slip clutch that lends the clutch a light feel and also helps in hard downshifts. While its output figures are healthy, it produces maximum power at a screaming 11,500 RPM and peak torque at 10,600 RPM. That's a precariously high peak output mark for most motorcycles, let alone a twin-cylinder bike with adventure touring aspirations. This kind of peaky, high RPM output is perhaps acceptable on the Ninja 300 since it's a motorcycle that's meant to be as close to its rev limit all the time. On a motorcycle that's meant to be calming and progressive, however, it's a sign of worry. Low-speed rideability on the X300 is pretty much effortless, and you can crawl in traffic at 30 km per hour in 6th gear if you like. It's fairly smooth and linear and isn't volatile in any way. That said, it's also a decently fast motorcycle, running out of breath only upwards of 140 km per hour. That's fast enough for the real world. However, with the X300 being an adventure tourer, just being fast enough isn't, well, enough. What you really want from a motorcycle that belongs on the highway and off the road is low-down grunt, and you get very little of that with the X300. It can still do 100 km per hour all day if you really like. However, doing it at 7,500 RPM isn't the nicest feeling, especially over a 500 km riding day. You can still ride it into the sunset, but I guess you'll just have to take way too many breaks until you get there. A redeeming quality of the X300 is its rock-solid, over-engineered feel. Suspension at the front has been assigned to a 41mm telescopic fork, while a gas-charged, preload adjustable monoshock is on duty at the rear. The 1450mm wheelbase lends immense stability to the X300, and overall, it doesn't feel like a heavy 184 kg motorcycle, both on and off the road. The IRC Trail Winner GP210 tires offer a good balance of road grip and off-road traction. They are a bit more road focused since the rear is quick to spin up in the dirt, and slush will be a big ask of these tires for sure. The 290mm single disc up front with a 220mm disc at the rear offers good if not exceptional braking performance, and the lever feel is intuitive as well. Overall though, the X300 retains composure at all times, and it's something you will appreciate.
The X300 is stable and predictable and comes across as a well-engineered motorcycle. It's agile, immensely forgiving and sublime in the corners, although that single pannier does create an imbalance if loaded to the brim. I like the riding position the X300 offers, although the seat is way too firm to be comfortable over a long distance. Overall though, the X300 is a motorcycle you will enjoy riding in both the city and out on the highway.
With a travel of 130mm at the front, 148mm at the rear, and 180mm of ground clearance, the X300 is not only Indian road friendly but also capable of a reasonable degree of off-roading. The suspension absorbs most bumps without a squeak, and the overall poise of the chassis means you can tackle most speed breakers by simply standing on the pegs.
As you can probably tell, the X300 is quite indulgent off the road. It has the long travel suspension to deal with really treacherous riding conditions, and despite weighing 184 kilos, it's remarkably agile. The tires offer a good balance between road grip and off-road traction, although the lack of a disengageable ABS means you can't really have too much fun in the dirt trying to back it in. While the X300 is capable off the road, it's let down prominently by its lack of low and mid-range grunt. As a result, you end up either redlining it in the first two gears or slipping the clutch a lot, and both aren't the nicest things to do to a motorcycle. Having said that, the X300 is a rock-solid motorcycle that will go wherever you want it to and will get you home safe. That's always a good thing to know, right?
Overall, the Versys-X 300 is a mix of a few hits and an equal number of misses, all burdened by the heft of its price tag. A non-accessorized version could bring the price down to possibly Rs 4 lakh or even below, and to be honest, you could consider paying that kind of money for a really irresistibly good 300. However, the Versys-X 300 isn't quite that really irresistibly good 300 we've been waiting for.
At Rs 4.6 lakh ex-showroom, the Versys-X 300 isn't a cheap motorcycle at all. That Kawasaki will only let you have one with all the bells and whistles adds to the price tag. But consider this. For Rs 50,000 more, you could have the Kawasaki Z650, and that's a far more capable and fulfilling motorcycle on the road. The X300 is a satisfying motorcycle as long as aggression and involvement aren't on top of your wish list. It's a well-equipped, well-engineered motorcycle that you'd love to flaunt. For now, however, you and I are just going to have to keep dreaming.
इसी कभी न रुकने वाले जुनून को रफ्तार देता है सर्वो वर्ल्ड क्लास लुब्रिकेंट्स।